This is your daily market review for Wednesday, May 14th, 2025. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market review. Wednesday, May 14th, 2025. Hopefully you're doing well. Market is in the I think the last stages of a near-term melting up phase. Again, this is just speculation. If you are new to the channel, again, this is all for education. Just going to point out the educational references why we think that. And ultimately, you have to make the decision. But at this point, we talked about reoccurring themes within middle of May, which is typically seasonally weak. And again, doesn't necessarily have to dump. But again, when you get Nasdaq 100, RSI over 70, you typically get a pullback. Now, how deep, how big, again, that's kind of subject to interpretation, but we'll talk about as we move forward. But also, like people be aware of, just again, when you're in this overbought condition, doesn't mean it can't keep going higher, but man, just congestion never ends. It just, you got to be like, I don't know, you just have to be mentally aware. Not to say you can't go higher, not to say that we have to dump. Just be aware that there might be a little, like, there's less risk versus reward at this point. Does that make sense? Because we talk about that. That's the key here, risk versus reward. Ultimately, you want to put yourself in a position to reward with the minimal amount of risk. So knowing that, where the market's at, be careful. That's all I got. All right, if you want to chat, hit me up, Calendly. Take 30 minutes. If you're looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate, and you have not reached out, I don't get it. I really don't. The people who have reached out have always had 5-star, great time, great service. Again, ultimately what we do is find you the best agent in your area to make sure you get the most amount of money for your investment if you're selling, and if you're looking to buy, to find a deal. Again, 87% of agents have not done a deal this year. Do not be surprised if you work with some random person that you get mediocre service. And also be aware, just because you work with some big team doesn't mean you're going to be the prized possession that they're going to want to work with. So let me find the best fit that fits your personality needs and ultimately what is best for you. So like, subscribe, to the notification bell. Again, posting thoughts, ideas on Twitter, on the Discord room, links description below. If you'd like to subscribe, hit the notification bell. You will get alerts. And if you'd like to donate, again, I appreciate it. Hit the thanks button or links in the description below. Again, I appreciate all love, support, generous donations. You guys are amazing. Also, check out thetradingagent.com. This is the goal, y'all. Turn profits into properties and passive income. Let's get into it. All right, Fear and Greed Index. Did it close at 71 or 70? 71. Getting pretty close, guys, gals. Again, not saying that we have to dump. I just be careful. Just be careful out here. It's been a pretty straight line move. At worst, you see these little corrections. That's all we're expecting at worst case scenario. So keep that in mind. We know the Feds are not doing anything until potentially September. Non-existent, not really worth going deep into. Bitcoin. Man, I'm watching this thing and I'm sitting here going, the pumping is endless. Like crypto bros, just endless pumping. Can we break over the 107? That's what we need to see. Why are my lines not showing now? So frustrating. Why are you so annoying? Trading View. There we go. So keep an eye. Again, it's hit or miss it, to my opinion. Like, again, you can buy it up here, but you have to have a tight stop, because if you're going to break out, you need to break out at some point. If not, this thing is known to do big consolidation patterns for months and months and months. I mean, that was from March. I mean, that was 9 months. This has been, I don't know, 6 months, 7 months. So is it over? We'll see. Oil, we talked about the double bottom. They're welcome. Again, I have not personally have any desire to short oil. Actually, chart's a little lower from here, but just watching it. I don't think you're going to get much lower than this area down here. When you zoom out, this area has been really important for about, I don't even go back even further. Yeah, 10 years. What's the correct price of oil? I don't know. I don't know, but I wouldn't be shorting it. That's for sure. Natural gas, we like natural gas long term. Any massive pullbacks, give it a ride, in my opinion. Again, consult with a financial advisor. Just my opinion is I like natural gas for the long term again because I think of supply demand dynamics. Let's go ahead earnings after hours. It's at 63. Just watching it again. We are at the end of earnings season. Just be aware of dollar. It's gotten crushed. Near term. Again, I'm not really too concerned about it, but the volatility in the dollar is starting to pick up. The moves are getting a little wild. TLT, this is what makes me a little nervous about the market too. Right back down the range lows. The 10-year yield's back at 4.5%. The market going to like that? Keep an eye on it. VIX, as we talked about, waking up down here. Makes sense. Had a huge move. 60 down to 18. Now, again, doesn't necessarily mean it has to bounce. But would you be surprised if the VIX pops up to 21? Right? I don't know. VIX 21, market pullback 3 to 5%. I don't know. I don't think there'd be anything wrong with that, or consolidate for a couple weeks. That's what I'm watching. VIVIX. Now remember, like certain leaders will lead, laggards will lag, and a lot of names might go nowhere. VIVIX starting to wake up. Again, keep an eye on it. SPY. We hit the upside targets. Come on, update SPY. One of those days. Again, I thought the 100-200 day was max. And then the next blue zone right around here. It's the bottom of this VAP zone. Keep an eye on it. Now, again, can we go higher? Absolutely. But I'm looking at this phenomenon. Typically, you get a doji or some sort of tight angle, tight candle before a pullback. I think we have it, right? And it could be just this, and then boom, who knows? But tight candle, big run. Keep an eye on it, right? Again, I think that's where, if you're aware of it, you can kind of see what's coming here. I'm writing that because, again, that's my plan of attack tomorrow. Got a little bit of SQQ near the lows and kind of watching it, but I'm waiting to see what happens. If we pop up tomorrow, again, consult financial advisors. This is education. I'm just telling you what I am doing. You do whatever you need to do. I'm looking for a recurring pattern. Now, how deep? I don't know. Maybe down to 575. Maybe that's all it's going to be, right? That's all it's going to be. Don't know. But again, at this point, the risk reward is what? Going long? No, not in my opinion. Not at these levels. Now, again, if your timeline's like a year from now, it probably doesn't matter. But if you're looking to trade the market, I'd be genuinely concerned. We talked about the IWM starting to lag, which has been leading up. Keep an eye on it, right? Getting stuck here at the 100-day consolidation zone. Ooh-wee. DIA has been all over the place, but been dragged down by United Healthcare. Again, I'm not really too concerned about it. Gold, let's get into it, because this is where it does get interesting. Now we're in the midst of a pullback, right? We talked about the blow off top. We talked about the lower high. Thought we might hold here. We gap below it. Now, in my opinion, a healthy correction, 20% pullback, I don't know, 250 plus range. Again, I mean, actually, I'm going to delete that because I don't think you could, I don't think it has to be that concrete. Do the math, right? Keep it simple, stupid, right? If the move, see, this is where, if you think the move started down here, and you can do all sorts of assumptions here. You could say the move started there. Say the move started there. You can say it started here. I mean, you can say it started here. I'm going back basically 2 years, but I personally think there'd be nothing wrong with a 20% pullback off the highs, which again, $60, which would be about $600 in the price of gold, 2,600. I don't know, 0.382. Again, wouldn't be surprised if we bounced here down in this like 100-day area, but again, just when I say be patient, I really do mean that. Like, be patient. So I personally don't know what is the near term actions going to play out. Like, again, we're like, well, aren't you supposed to predict? No, this is for education. Where the recurring pattern is Q2 seasonality, right? So project that out. Here we go. Like, that's going to be somewhere out here. How long will that take, right? Like, let me just do this. Like, somewhere in this time frame between now and June, end of June. I guess technically, was it May, June, July? Yeah, I mean, you gotta look at it. It's typically July. There's like a middle of July seasonality. Again, I started to get bogged down in this, but I think I have a lot of people who are bullish. A lot of people who are just like, oh, this is going to get crushed. I think you gotta trade it. Personally, I mean, again, meaning like, don't go crazy, but also don't expect it to go anywhere quickly. Silver kind of chopping around, giving you nothing. GDX broke below the 50-day. Glad we stopped out. Your guess is good as mine on this one. I mean, let's just do a fib real quick. I apologize. I like to do this on the fly so you guys can see how I kind of think about it. Right? Ooh, I love when the fibs line up here. 0.618, 0.5, 0.382. Yep. Somewhere in this 40 area. I think that, to me, again, I'm going to clear out some of this garbage, clean up the charts. I would love to see something around here. That, to me, would be great. GDXJ, same kind of thing, right? Like, I like the GDXJ a lot. If you could see, I don't know, somewhere in this box, that'd be an absolute gift. Again, I apologize. It's just drawing on the fly. I know this video might make it longer, but I just want you guys to see what I'm doing, how I look at it. Yep. Perfect. Yep. I mean, man, that might be too deep of a pullback. Maybe the actual box structure needs to be attached to that high. I don't know, somewhere in between the 5 and the 618, maybe. Okay. Again, I mean, this is where it's not a perfect science, right? Again, it's a probability-based game. AEM, we like AEM. This one's been getting dogged on a little bit lately, but it was the leader. I would think somewhere probably, man. Again, I'm just drawing this because, again, I want folks to know, like, I'll be hunting this stuff. Be watching in there. Like AEM, AG. Kind of a whole lot of nothing going nowhere. Newmont, we talked about this when it filled the gap at 58. It was due to pull back. I mean, there's kind of a trend line here. I don't know why I don't know. You can have it. Should bounce around here, but we'll see what happens here at the 200-day. Your guess is as good as mine. Again, I'm just trying to see if there's anything that pops out as I build these charts. PAAS is buying mag silver. Wait for that 20 zone, in my opinion, but people do what they're going to do. Taiwan Semi was getting a tech. Again, like the miners, just waiting for the pullback. Man, I spent a lot of time, but it's okay. Keep an eye on these names. Like, again, overbought. A lot of dojis, right? Keep an eye on that stuff. Micron starting to get weak here at the 200-day. Keep an eye on it. AMD overbought near term, in my opinion. Again, I like AMD. I think seems like they're doing things right. They got Trumpster hanging. They're hanging with the Trumpster. They're doing deals. Again, let me clean these charts up. I personally think if you look at, like, zoom out, I mean, it's only a $150 billion company. It's not that, like, rich. I'd love to see a back test of the trend line. That would be my guess. Like, if you could somehow come back down and maybe see some confluence around here, right around here. Here, I'll kind of draw it out for you. Somewhere in there. That would be, to me, an ideal spot to snag a little. If you think it's going higher. NVDA, this thing has been gangbusters. Wow. It should fail up here, but maybe not. Again, you're coming into resistance to the left. This thing has gone gangbusters. Again, I personally have no. Again, I like the short of the Qs, but I'm not picking any particular name at the moment. I tried to do a little Netflix, didn't work, and well, Netflix and spill didn't work. SMCI, they're doing some deals with the Saudis. Keep an eye on it. Look at Intel. I mean, getting nothing here. The breadth was really crappy today. Again, there's a lot of stocks down today, even though the market's up. Keep an eye on that one. AVGO, short-term overbought again. That doesn't mean the market has to dump, but again, I just wouldn't be surprised by consolidation phase. SMH, been on fire. Keep an eye on this one because, again, I think this doji near term might be a little inflection point worth a watch. Good old Adobe. This thing's been building. Okay, back into the downtrend, worth a watch. Apple, down today again. Up in this like resistance area. Does it keep going? We'll see. Amazon, same kind of thing. A little overbought, getting tired up here. Keep an eye on it. Meta. Great trade if you bought Meta. Again, near term, just watch what happens with these dojis here. Right, Meta. CRM at the 200-day. Guggenheim. This one now is a little more pinned down because of some of their some of the news last week. Right? Apple was going to drop their search. All right, needs to get over this area. If not, it's pulling back. Microsoft, keep an eye up here. Back at the old highs. Worth the watch. NDAQ, again, like this short. Absolutely up here. Keep an eye on it, right? MicroStrategy. Your guess is as good as mine on this one. Bitcoin goes, it goes. If not, it's going to get smushed. Netflix filled the gap over the 20-day. Man, this thing has been resilient. Credit where credit's due. Feels like a rolling top, but man, it's not rolling over. So if it's not rolling over, then you got to be careful. Maybe it retests the highs. Man, Roblox has been on fire. CrowdStrike, another one that's been fun one for us. Chopping her at the highs. Keep an eye at PanW. We like cybersecurity a lot. If you look at it for what it is, where's my mouse? Come on. My mouse is dying. Stop it. Don't need a battery right this second. It looks like it's consolidating. Big consolidation phase. You got to get over this 208. Looks like it's building to go. Just in my opinion. Tesla, 350 target. You got it. Talked about that. You're welcome. Said, don't be surprised if we get up to the 350 area that this holds. Now, near term, feels kind of like this, right? Where you just get up and then you just get a little bit of pullback, right? Just get some pullback for a couple days. Nothing wrong with it, right? Maybe you come back and, I don't know, worst case scenario, let me remove this. I personally, if I was looking for a spot that would make the most sense to reload, I don't know, fill this gap down here, just under 300. That would be a gift, in my opinion. Worth a watch. Again, just don't chase it. Please, 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 please. Palantir, this one's been holding up near the highs. Again, I personally don't have much of an opinion on these guys. New highs, but what it is. Insight, again, I think they get bought out at some point. Chopping around. HIMS filled the gap perfectly, backing off due to pullback. BABA, earnings coming up tomorrow. Near the highs, again, keep an eye on it. McDonald's, this one looks like it was going to break out. It's just chopping around. Starbucks, we like here at the double bottom. Near term, I don't know. Again, the market overall, it just in my opinion, looks like it's due to pull back. Airbnb redoing their website. I don't know, nothing really great, but been holding up. Keep an eye on it. Coinbase getting out of the S&P 500, building off the lows. Congrats if you bought this. We talked about that level around 150. Hot diggity damn. DKNG again, chopping around at the moving averages. I don't trust the gambling stocks, but again, keep an eye on it because you can get over that 100, 200 day, due to bounce. Costco seems to be stuck around this like 1,000 area. If you zoom out, looks like a head and shoulders top. That's just my best guess. FedEx, again, we like this one as a breakout over the, I don't know, the 220 area. Let's see what happens here. Building a little base. Again, you need to hold that 229 area. Keep an eye on it. XLF. This is where, to me, again, the market looks a little tired. Look at the financials, right? 3-day ranging, chopping at the highs. Hood's been on fire. Maybe a little overbought. JP Morgan holding up really well, but man, these are big moves. Big moves, my friends. Morgan Stanley, right? Big moves. Bank of America. Bank of America. These have been big moves, guys, gals, friends. It's hard to sustain that verticality. Goldman Sachs, same kind of thing. KRE, chopping around here at the 100, 200 day. I'd be keeping an eye on this and see if it's going to be lost. XBI, right? Chopping around. I talked about this. Like, I like this stuff. I mean, it's basically destroyed. But keep an eye on it. I'd be looking for pullbacks. Jets, Jets down today. Chopping around, hits the 100 day. XHB, again, we talked about these, even like housing materials. Like, man, 4.5% on the 10-year is not good for the real estate market. Man, that volume is pretty high too. Keep an eye on it. Again, I'm not saying that the market's going to crash by any means, but it seems like it's due to pull back. Dow gapped up to the 50-day, pulling back. CE, a lot of these names have been on fire, chopping around. Hits 100-day, pulled backing off. Caterpillar holding up pretty well. Again, this has had a nice move. Deere has earnings coming up. Keep an eye on this one. Again, if it can break out, that's nuts. Nucor. We talked about, again, a lot of these names just chopping around. Some of them due to pullback. X, I think they get bought out, so keep an eye on it. IIIN has been on fire. Little 3-day range up here due to pullback. VALE, keep an eye on it, right? Again, hits the 200-day. Again, it'd be in a perfect world, these all consolidate. Arrow, right? Like this name. Volume starts spiking today. Somebody knows something. I've got a boatload of this. I hope they get bought out. Watching what happens up at the 14s. FQVLF, right up against the range highs. Keep an eye on it. SCCO, again, we like copper a lot. Holding up pretty well. FCX, holding up pretty well. They got gold and copper chopping around. URNJ, we talked about uranium names due to probably consolidate here. How fast? It got up there pretty quickly. See what happens. CCJ has been on fire. No stopping that beast. CF, again, we like the ag names. I would not be surprised if they, even if it's 1 or 2 days of consolidation, keep an eye on it, right? These things have had some vertical moves. SQM, again, I think this will catch up more than some of the other ones. Keep an eye on it. NTR, this one's been chopping around at the highs. Looks good. AA, you're welcome if you bought this in the mid-20s. A couple days ago, look at this. This guy is ripping. You're welcome. Kalu, again, we like aluminum, like all this stuff. Chilling at the 200-day. Again, nothing wrong with these things if they consolidated. Again, I'd hate for folks to just get confused by this. Like, it's pretty normal, right? Like, when you're in an uptrend, I guess, I think you get up, you consolidate, you get up, consolidate. Man, this has been up. Man, I would be watching this mid-60s area. Again, I don't know for sure, but worth a watch. MP, again, we like these rare earth metal names. Man, look at that pullback again. The China deal. China. I don't think if there's anything right there. Yep. Yeah, I'd be watching this area. Sub 20. Keep an eye on it. REMX is a ETF for this stuff. This one's been blasted. Keep an eye on it. Cliff. Even like Cliff down here at some point, right? Keep an eye on it. Yeah, I like this stuff. I think this, again, capitulated. Not much downside. TAN, we talked about solar starting to build up. All right, 200-day, maybe a little tired. Again, I don't really like SEDS or ENPH. Man, you can barely see these bounces. They're just poop. Keep an eye on it. ENPH, not too bad, but I don't know. Their technology, I've heard, is just not that great. First solar now. We talked about this bounce. Congrats if you took this at the 120s. Man, look at that base and go. Now, near term, again, it doesn't necessarily mean, like, again, you get these ups. Are you going to go vertical? I don't know. I wouldn't short it, but I also wouldn't like chase it. I'd wait for pullbacks. HYG, this is where I wasn't trusting the market today. Look at corporate debt. Doesn't really look that good. Keep an eye on it. Oil, I like oil, but I also know it's going to be choppy and sloppy. UNG, again, I hate this product. Looking at a pullback. KOLD, again, if you shorted this up in the 30s, down in the 20s, you're doing all right. XOP, talked about hitting our upside target here. Keep an eye on it. Again, I'm not saying go out and short it, but I'd be taking profits, especially if you bought Gush in like 14, 15, 16 range. Looking good. NPC, again, we talk about the gasoline names, typically top and bottom first. That gap up has me a little suspect. Valero, and not to say that these names have to get smashed, but I wouldn't be surprised if they consolidated. ExxonMobil, You know, this one's been not really leading as much. BP, again, a lot of these names are down today, chopping around. They've had some nice moves. Occidental, right, hits the upside range, chopping around. Devon Energy, again, chopping around. These have had nice moves. Apache, if you bought all these at the lows, don't be surprised to consolidate a little bit here. Lyondell base looks okay. Let it play out. CVE, again, if you bought this in the 11 range, you're feeling pretty good. But just, again, I don't know if I'm... EQT, this shit just looks like it's breaking out. Again, I don't necessarily think these are going to get crushed, because they typically seasonally hold up into Memorial Day. I just wouldn't be surprised if they consolidate for a day or two at worst. And last but not least, Flex LNG. Keep an eye on it. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I know this stuff can be confusing, but just remember, as we get more into the summer, the depth and the breadth of the market's going to change, meaning the leaders will lead, the laggards will lag, and there's going to be a lot of names that don't go anywhere, and they just chop around, and they're going to trade in tight ranges. And these ranges can be extremely frustrating for folks. And again, I don't know if we're going into the range-bound market time, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if the S&P 500 for the length of the summer fluctuates between up and down a couple percent. So do the range math on that, right? JP Morgan's got their collar straddle at the top. I think their collar is at the top, somewhere around that 58.80, 880, whatever. Doesn't matter. Point being is, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what we do for a while, right? Maybe even to June, maybe into July. Just chop around, because again, what coming? I mean, trade deals we're going to see. I mean, the 90-day trade deal workout with China, great. But you have to remember, like, to implement this stuff, and China has a history of this. They tried to wait Trump out the first time. We'll see if they actually implement what they're talking about, because again, that's going to be the key. All right, have a great evening. Talk to you soon. Peace out.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.